You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Julia Wiegand. State police have released the name of the victim involved in a domestic violence incident in Hazel Township. 38-year-old Helena Johnson of Massachusetts was allegedly killed during the incident this past Sunday at the Red Carpet Inn on North Church Street. Police have charged 36-year-old Joseph Sacramento with 1 count of criminal homicide. An autopsy revealed and ruled the cause and manner of death as homicide by blunt force trauma. Mayor Jeff Cassatt and Police Chief Brian Schoonmaker took a walkabout through downtown Hazleton today, and our Philip Kaufman has the story.
If you were around the areas of Broad and Wyoming Street around 11 this morning, you may have come across Mayor Jeff Cassatt and Police Chief Schoonmaker walking down the sidewalk with Charlie.
I think interacting with the people of Hazleton is very important. You know, people want to feel like the community. They want to be able to express themselves and tell you what's bothering them, what is they feel confident about, and what's positive in Hazleton. So it's good to interact with random people throughout the city.
So what's the feedback like?
Yeah, well, you hear the concerns about some of the debris in the streets, but also a lot of positive about the downtown area being paved, the new streets that have been done last fall. You know, people asking about when Wyoming Street's getting done, which will be done next month.
Aside from a sunny stroll through the streets and chatting with citizens, the walkabout was a moment for the mayor to see and reflect on the progress of the city.
It's really nice to be able to walk the street and feel positive from other people. You know, we see it every day, the progress that we've been making, we know it. But when it comes from the citizens that they appreciate work that's been done, it's really nice.
Chief Schoonmaker also used this walkabout to allow for citizens to speak with him as well and strengthen the community outreach of the police department and listen to any concerns from the citizens.
Our biggest thing was just trying to interact with the public, hear their concerns or any suggestions that they may have on ways we can improve different areas throughout the city, as well as how our police department could try to interact a little more with the public. It's a nice change for the community. I mean, our department, we're extremely busy, we're shorthanded, so a lot of times we don't get out and interact with the public. And when the mayor brought this idea up to me, I said, you know what, this is good. We'll go out, I'll come with you, we'll go talk to people, see what we can do to make things a little bit better, like a community outreach.
And if you do see anything that needs sprucing up, you can always call in.
We do. The city does have an informational line, 570-459-4960. It's a bilingual line where you can report high grass, potholes, and any other situation that may come up throughout the city.
Reporting from downtown Hazleton with WYLN News, I'm Philip Kaufman.
Thank you, Phil. And speaking of, the Wyln Foundation and charities, the Standard Speaker and Mayor Jeff Cassatt met to gift generous donations from the community at Altmiller Park. Our Julie Stefanovich has more from this morning.
As you may remember, a handicap-accessible swing was thought to be stolen from Altmiller Playground in Hazleton back in April. It was later discovered that the swing was damaged and wasn't the victim of foul play after all. A worker from the Department of Public Works had put the swing in the city's garage. The swing, however, was not able to be put back up, and donations were accepted from the community by Hazleton Standard Speaker and matched by Wyln Foundations and charities. And this morning, a check presentation was made to the city.
When the leadership of Wyln Charities heard about how unfortunate this incident was, they asked, what can we do? What can we do to help? Having no idea, really, initially, what kind of excellent response there would be from the community itself. So the fact that the community stepped up, the fact that Wyln Charities is able to help in this way is just a really great thing all around.
Over $8,000 was raised by the community to replace the equipment that was initially installed back in September of 2017.
So really the community itself did all the heavy lifting on this. What our leaders at Wyln Charities said was we really need to encourage that kind of generosity, that kind of charity. And when the community stepped up in such a magnificent way, our leaders said, yep, let's match that goodness dollar for dollar. So overall, thousands and thousands of dollars have been raised for this really great project.
And as the old adage goes, sometimes something good comes out of a bad situation.
They really raised much, much more than just fixing a single swing. I'm told by the mayor that so many resources came together that this is going to positively impact many, many parks in the greater Hazleton area.
Officials say that the swing has been ordered and is expected to be delivered within the next month or so. In Hazleton, for Wyln News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Thank you, Julie. Vandals targeted a church in the Parsons section of Wilkes-Barre on Monday. The suspect or suspects entered the Primitive Methodist Church on Austin Avenue sometime between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. A cleaning crew arrived that day and found a Bible ripped to shreds, fire extinguishers discharged throughout the building, and human feces on both the floor and wiped on an American flag. The pastor of the church said the damage and cleanup cost could be nearly $10,000. Anyone with information on this incident is being asked to contact the Wilkes-Barre Police Department at 570-208-4222. State police shut down an alleged drug manufacturing and distribution operation Friday in the Heights section of Hazleton. Troopers say that 38-year-old Erwin Roa Mustafa manufactured drugs for street sales and sold to his customer base from 174 Muir Avenue. Friday's warrant on the home turned up about 62 grams of suspected cocaine, 23 grams of suspected fentanyl, 167 grams of suspected crystal meth, loaded weapons, cell phones, cash, and various packaging materials. Troopers also found 45 grams of suspected cocaine packaged for drug smuggling by ingestion, and a drug packaging and manufacturing operation based out of the attic. Roa Mustafa was charged with manufacture, delivery, or possession with intent to deliver, possession of a firearm prohibited, and use or possession of drug paraphernalia. He was jailed and denied bail, as he was already deported from the U.S., but had since re-entered the country illegally. A homeless man from New York City was sentenced in Luzerne County Court Tuesday in 9 separate cases. 33-year-old Ravone Davis went on a strong-armed robbery spree in both Wilkes-Barre and Wilkes-Barre Township from September 2018 to February 2019, randomly mugging and assaulting anyone he selected as a target. Davis, who was also wanted on a robbery parole violation in New York, was found hiding inside a Sherman Hills apartment February 22nd of 2019 and arrested. He pled guilty back on March 23rd of this year to several counts of robbery, aggravated assault, terroristic threats, and illegal possession of a firearm, and was sentenced Tuesday to serve 10 to 20 years in state prison. Coming up on Wyln News, it's time to rev up your engines, plus how the Wolfpack made their debut. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the Wyln Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Get your umbrellas out because it's about to get wet.
This is what the Pocono Raceway looks like now, but this is what it's really going to look like. We're back bigger and better than ever. Explore the Pocono Mountains 350. Get your tickets at PoconoRaceway.com.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice,
everyday low prices,
plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
Hey guys, this is Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazleton. We're talking about TNT. We're talking about trucks and trade-ins. If you got a truck that you don't want or you're looking for a truck, we've got a huge selection of pre-owned trucks right now. We have got Rubicons. We have got GMCs, Ford Flexes. We have got a Ram dually diesel. If you're in the market for a truck or you want to get rid of your truck, you'll never get more ever than it's worth right now. So come on down to 508 Susquehanna Boulevard in Hazleton and see why we'll give you more for the trade that those other guys won't.
Our Wyln sports crew's gearing up for one of our favorite weekends of the year. The Weatherly Hill Climb will be returning to the circuit after the pandemic caused its first ever cancellation last year since its 1961 debut. Racers will be making the trek from all over to head up the mountain this Saturday and Sunday, June 12th and 13th. And as tradition has it, Wyln will be broadcasting live from Weatherly this Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So rev up those engines and tune in this Saturday for all the live local action right here on Wyln TV. Wyln's all-time OTC hero Marty Burns has the in-depth analysis of what's happening on and off-season across our viewing area. Wilkes-Barre area girls basketball coach Mary Mushak-Nami is on this week, so let's talk sports. Here's part 3.
And one of the main challengers in the Wyoming Valley Conference is Hazleton area. And you went into Hazleton area, you ended up losing to the Lady Cougars by 10, but you had them at halftime, you had them in the lead, but then the Lady Cougars came out with a big third quarter. But the learning experience of your group together playing against that Hazleton area team, especially at Hazleton area where Coach Gavio's had so much success.
Yeah, I mean, he has just built such a solid program down there. He's been there for so long, won district title after district title, and the girls know about that. They really do. Even though we weren't in a 6A program at Myers, GR, and Coughlin, they knew all about Hazleton and the success that they had. So I think going in that first season, I'm not sure if we expected to be in those games, but they just came out to play. I mean, they just knew that they were the underdog, they were the brand new team, and they just had nothing to lose. So they came out and just gave it their all every single game, and we actually stayed in, I think, 99% of those games in that first year.
Coming up on Gilberton's News Choice, we're talking child vaccinations on this Wellness Wednesday and Community and You. Plus, Leading the Way, Part 3. Stay with us.
This Good News Wednesday, we're highlighting the students from Emmanuel Christian School who weren't just playing around at the Pine Street Playground as ICS worked on a revitalization project as part of their end-of-the-year Serve-a-thon. Together, students painted a fence, painted the basketball poles, rebuilt the soccer goals, and painted the outside of the soccer fencing with art, including handprints from the elementary students. The students' hard work is part of the motto that they hold dear to instilling into every ICS student. ICS also plans on spreading hope through the city by starting a Hope Rocks project, where students paint rocks with messages of hope and hide them throughout the city. So be on the lookout for future projects around Hazleton. Well done, kids. The playground looks amazing. That's your Good News Wednesday. Thank you for joining us here on WYLN.
Membership opportunities are now available at the Valley Country Club, 79 Country Club Lane in Sugarloaf. Clubhouse upgrades are in progress and will be ready for the spring. Call Frank Radis for details at 570-233-5328.
Hey guys, this is Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazleton. We're talking about TNT. We're talking about trucks and trade-ins. If you got a truck that you don't want or you're looking for a truck, we've got a huge selection of pre-owned trucks right now. We have got Rubicons. We have got GMCs, Ford Flexes. We have got a Ram dually diesel. If you're in the market for a truck or you want to get rid of your truck, you'll never get more ever than it's worth right now. So come on down to 508 Susquehanna Boulevard in Hazleton and see why we'll give you more for the trade that those other guys won't.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Jura's Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in 610 North Broad Street, West Hazleton, 570-454-7229.
Monday have to be a day?
We can make Monday play day.
How about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
We could definitely make those new play days here in the Poconos. But what about Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Those are days too, right?
Pocono Mountains play days. They're really any day you want them to be. Find us at PoconoMountains.com.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday here on WYLN. We are at LVPG in Cunningham, and we are talking to Dr. Pradeep Abdimalla,
Yes.
And we're talking about recently the vaccination age is lowering, and we're going to be talking about children's vaccines and then just addressing general questions regarding the vaccine. So why don't we start off just talking about kids getting the vaccines and the significance of that and the importance of it. I know it's kind of silly to talk about why everybody should get the vaccine, but we're just going to be talking about that today. So
yeah, that's a good question. The most important thing why we give vaccines is to increase your immunity. And the vaccine has shown to protect you and the community from variable infections. Like we see a lot of infection which has been controlled well from the childhood. And we have been discussing since 2 years about the COVID vaccine, and we got the vaccine. And we have been giving to the age group, initially who's very well suspected, older age groups. Then we went down and we are giving to children because we want to make sure our children in our society is protected also. And right now I see wonderful immunity and no side effects pretty much. And most parents are willing to get vaccinated for the children.
And when a parent comes in, especially to your practice, and they're considering taking their child to the hospital to get their vaccination to one of the vaccine clinics, are there any things that you talk about with them, anything you advise with them, or any questions that they ask you in particular that you address to them?
I always say that make sure you get the vaccinated, and you should get 2 doses, and make sure if you have any questions or concerns, talk to the provider, the doctor. And I didn't see any much side effects, to be honest, other than the flu-like side effects, only for the 2nd dose. And take a Tylenol or Motrin if you have any pain or body aches or a fever. And it protects you, it protects the community by getting vaccinated. If you get 100% vaccinated, that's well and good, and hopefully within 1 or a year, we don't see any COVID at all.
And I think as a pediatrician, maybe you can speak towards this. Aside from the COVID-19 vaccine, I think, and something that kind of addresses the significance of the COVID-19 vaccine and why to get it is because as a pediatrician, you get a lot of kids who get other vaccines that were made a long time ago to counter other diseases that once, spread throughout. Can you talk a little bit about that and just vaccines in general, the importance of getting them, and especially as a child?
See, since birth of the child, we are giving the vaccines, and we used to give a lot of vaccines until 2 years of the age, and we don't see any kind of diseases which are really prevalent 30 years back ago, like measles, mumps, chickenpox, and pneumonias, especially ear infections. These are all well controlled by the vaccines. Okay, and the studies have shown vaccines has always helps infections and increase user immunity. So they did a wonderful study getting the COVID vaccine, and a lot of patients are protected by this vaccine. There is a decreased death wherever the place which is vaccinated well, and it shows even a 98-year-old is getting vaccinated to protect themselves. If a 98-year-old getting vaccinated to protect themselves, a 12-year-old, 13-year-old should definitely get vaccinated and protect themselves and their family and the community.
And earlier you had been discussing, you said about, if you want to take a Tylenol or an Advil. There's been some talk around that some people are going ahead of time before they get their vaccine to take one of those. Any advice on that, whether to do that, why not to do that, or what to do with Tylenol, Advil, any kind of medication that people are taking prior to?
See, most of the vaccines are safe, and unless otherwise you don't see a side effect, you don't need to get a Tylenol. And studies have not shown taking a Tylenol or Motrin before. Most of the patients don't have any symptoms also. But if you have symptoms, taking a Tylenol or Motrin is not going to harm anybody. and that's going to help you a little bit of side effects to go down, and you will be fine within 24 hours.
And, speaking to our audience right now, you have the camera, you have the time. Anything else in general, whether it's the COVID-19 vaccine, why to get it, or whether it's any vaccines for your children that need to come in and get them, could you talk to our audience, just give them the general advice that you would give to any of your patients?
As I always say that vaccines increase your immunity, protect yourself, protect the community. And I never heard any problems with vaccination side effects in general. And it's only if you see any significant side effects, there is a media which helps plenty of information. But if you see how many vaccines we have given to the community right now with the COVID and how many side effects you come across. So I would suggest get vaccinated, protect yourself and protect the community. That's the best thing you're going to do in this pandemic situation. And by vaccinating, you are not only protecting yourself, your family members who are critically ill, they also be protected well. And hopefully by next year, we may not use the mask also if they are 100% vaccinated, and hopefully we come back to normal by 2022.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Pradeep, thank you so much for coming, for talking to us today. We came to you.
Thanks.
But thank you for meeting with us, and thank you for talking to our audience for us and just addressing all of this. It's just absolutely important. Folks, absolutely important. Please take this. If you haven't, look up for one of the vaccination clinics. LVHN has one. They have multiple sites. You can look them up. Go get a vaccine. Look into getting your child vaccinated as well. And also look into pediatric work and whether your child needs updates on their shots or early vaccinations early on. But thank you all for joining us. Thank you for joining us and talking to us. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us on Wellness Wednesday on WYLN.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
It's time to get out. Enjoy the weather. Take that vacation. You need it. It's all right here in the Pocono Mountains. Enjoy adventures. Be wet and wild. Play the slots. Take a relaxing hike.
Don't miss Explore the Pocono Mountains 350. It's the green flag for 2021. Get your tickets at PoconoRaceway.com.
Only one company has been a lifetime committed to your safety. Subaru. At Fairway Subaru in Hazleton, we're committed to you and providing the safest vehicles on the road for you and your family. Which is why Subarus come with available EyeSight driver assist technology, which can reduce the rate of rear-end crashes by up to 85%. And with lane assist and sway warning, your family will know why Subaru is a leading choice among parents and teen drivers. Discover more about Subaru and all there is to love about it at Fairway Subaru in Hazleton. The right car, the right price, the right dealer.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online. WYLN CA35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the Children's Programming Report is on file for public inspection at WYLN 1057 East 10th Street in Hazleton, Pennsylvania during normal business hours. To view the report online, visit fcc.org.
WYLN's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Jim Perry's leading the way into part 3 of this week's series.
And welcome back to this week's Leading the Way with Jim Perry. So for those who may not know, could you tell us a little bit about, at least from your perspective, the role of a city councilor?
Well, City Council right now is this legislative body. It's a little bit more than that. I mean, we really deal with the budget, and then, you know, obviously that's our big thing, ordinances and resolutions. And we only get into the nitty-gritty when somebody calls us and with some complaints. We can transfer, we can connect them whoever we want to connect them to, whatever they need to be talking to. Kind of assisting the mayor and assisting anybody who needs help in the city, directing them or. So we try not to be, again, that's just the mayor. The mayor's job is to take care of the city and the day-to-day operations. We're there as a legislator, and we're, I think, more now than ever in my, you know, as I've been here, we've been more involved in what's going on in the city, trying to be part of it to help make solutions to problems and then make it easier to get things passed and understand them, work sessions, working with the community, trying to get them to understand what we're trying to do. It's all to benefit them. I mean, that's the key. We're trying to benefit the community as it's changing and evolving, and that's what we would try to do. So updating our code, all those kind of things. So, and I've seen a great deal of progress through this process, absolutely. Even from this term here. And I've seen it from the last term. We're now dealing with positive things happening. We're not borrowing money to cover past debts. We're borrowing money to buy things and do things for the city.
And so with that job, kind of walk us through the process. Any kind of simple task or things that need to get done. Somebody comes to you, would approach you, call you, contact you?
Yes,
and say,
absolutely. We get a lot of contacts with, you know, for example, a code. I just said, actually, a former school board member, she contacted me. It was a while ago now. It took a while, but, you know, the neighbor's trees falling in the yard, it was owned by somebody else. And what we did is I tried to contact her with Diane, our new code officer, and boy, she, in the last couple days, she took care of that. She called, and so the resident called me and said, thank you so much for doing that. She as we were talking, she got the owner, took pictures and said, you got to be responsible for the trees. And so just kind of being the in-between person to help out and make things smoother for people. That's really what I think is beneficial for me. I just enjoy that, to help people and give an answer. They don't want to be pushed off. They want an answer, or direct them somewhere, or get an answer for them, whether it's a stop sign, the process going on with that, or get in contact, you know, with the police chief. We've got some things going on, and so just directing wherever I have to, or street department, wherever there's a problem there. So I think it's a lot of communication and trying to direct them in the right way. So
absolutely.
And again, like I said, we've done a lot of positive things going on in the city, and I think that's something that people need to be aware of, that we're growing. But there's a lot of things happening around us.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Check back tomorrow night as Jim Perry continues leading the way into part 4 of this week's segment. Good night.
And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page or WYLNTV.com. where you can also find LVHN's real facts about COVID-19. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.